Jeffrey Martin. I'm the founder and CEO of Sphericam, and I'm here to talk a little bit about what we do and how we see the VR industry progressing. A little bit about me. I founded 360cities.net back in 2007. Back then, this whole 360 thing was sort of an unknown, weird niche of photography that no one really cared about. So it's really fantastic to be here on the stage talking to people who are interested in 360. This is a new thing because no one's cared for so long, and finally, thank you. It all started when I got involved in 360-degree photography back in 2004. Built one of the first mashups of geolocated panoramic images and maps. That was before Google Street View. It was really hard to sell 360 photography back then because no one knew what it was. It's hard to convince someone that they should buy something that they didn't know about until you walked in the door. So it was really sort of a humble beginning. Been working on 360-degree video since 2008 when I put together the first sort of analog CCTV cameras and 8-channel security camera DVRs in a PC, stuck it in a car and drove around, and the quality wasn't great, but it was a start. Fast forward to 2014, and I've assembled a great team. A couple of them are here today. Servas Jordans is the co-founder and CTO of Hardware. So he's got a very long, deep background in hardware design, camera design, embedded systems, and he's a master of making miniaturized hardware. So what we're building now, he's really the right guy in terms of the hardware. Papa Witt, who's here today, you'll meet him in a few minutes. He's the computer vision guru, and he's got a very deep background in computer vision related applications, things like industrial image recognition, license plate recognition. If you've got a speeding ticket from one of those cameras, might be because of Papo's software, sorry to say. High-speed fruit inspection and other applications involving image warping and things like that. So this very strong technical team has enabled us to build a really great product, which we'll show you in a minute. So 360 imaging has actually been around forever. Since photography was invented, people have been trying to figure out how to kind of expand this rectangle, and people have been inventing cameras that can sweep around in a circle. And it's really nothing new. People have wanted to immerse themselves since the beginning of this whole medium. And interestingly, in the 19th century, before cinema was possible, there was this thing called, some people call it cyclorama. It was basically a 360-degree painting, and there were actually special theaters for this, and these paintings would get rolled up and they would travel from city to city, and every few weeks or months the local 360-degree gallery theater thing would unroll this massive painting, and you could stand in the middle of it and experience a scene just like you're there. So this whole pitch, it's just like you're there. We've been pitching this for 150 years. And if you go to Lucerne in Switzerland, there's still one called the Bourbaki panorama, and it is this one. It's a battle scene, I think, from St. Petersburg, and there's the painting around you, and then there's some kind of scale models below the painting, so it gives you almost a spherical effect. Fast forward to today. Now we've got real 360-degree video, and we've got quite a few different cameras, and there are a number of ways to do it. We've heard a few talks about what's the best way to do it and so on. We've still got, so I've got this bagel in a CD spindle. So we're still sort of, it's okay, you can use a CD spindle to hold your bagel, but you don't want to reuse cameras that were not made for 360 video to do that. That's not going to work. So that's okay, but don't recycle cameras that were made for something different. That's generally why I'm here and why we're going to show you what we've got. So what do we really need? We need something that's been designed from the beginning to do just this. So I would call Papo to the stage here, and we will show you what we've got. What we've got fits in your pocket, and I'm going to pass this around. I would like it back. So this is what we've got. This is the first time we're showing this in the public. Papo has not slept in 3 months, and he's done a fantastic job. We will be bringing a camera to the YouTube space soon. We wanted to announce it today. It just didn't quite happen. It will be coming here soon, and people will be able to use a Sphericam here in the YouTube space. So basically what this is we have thought about what VR needs, what 360 video should be, and we've built that from the beginning. 6 cameras that are as close together as possible, 4 microphones, a motion sensor to aid in stabilization, and a global shutter. So this is basically, we tried to address all of the worst pain points of 360 video capture that the people are facing today and that people are complaining about. Another sort of tricky thing, especially with cameras, is you want something that's like one button push, automatic, does everything you want, but it's also an artistic machine that you should have freedom over. So on one hand, we want to push the button and it captures stitched video that's compressed. You can upload it to YouTube. But on the other hand, maybe you want to you want to change the exposure, you want to tweak a few things. Maybe you even want to stitch it afterwards. So what we've got now is, it's kind of hard to see on the laptop screen, but we've got real-time live stitched video. It's stitched in 70 milliseconds, so it doesn't take hours. It's just doing it right away. It is capturing raw, uncompressed video to the laptop. And soon it will be, available to everybody. Thank you. So we've just heard a great talk by William McMaster, who is a great guy. You should listen to everything he says. He's a really highly respected guy in the industry, and he's been shooting 360 videos for ages, longer than almost anybody. So I don't need to recycle everything he said. The kind of biggest things to worry about, you're in the shot. If you are not in the shot, then the camera has to stay where it is. If you need to use the talent, maybe the actors will need to hold the camera. That's not something that they're used to, but maybe they'll have to do it. Everything else is in the shot. You've got to hide your lighting. William was pointing out how they actually had to composite out the lights. Maybe get used to ambient lighting more. The foreground is very important in a spherical photo. The kind of everything that's close is really, really, really important, more than with standard filmmaking. With standard filmmaking, you can have a shot that doesn't include any of the foreground, and it's a little bit more compressed. With spherical video, the things that are close are absolutely going to be noticed above everything else. Around the narrative, this is still very much an unsolved thing. No one's really built a 360 movie that required 360 to have the narrative work. So this is something that we're still completely clueless about. We don't know what the rules are or anything. Don't make the viewer throw up is like the first rule that we've come up with. We can start with that. And the POV 360. This is really like a big thing, and you will have clients who come to you, just like William said. They want the point of view of Usain Bolt, winning the race, and this just can't be done. We can't do it, and it is your job to educate your clients about what is and what is not possible, and what people really care about and what they don't care about so much. So a little bit more about stereo versus mono. So what we've built, we've wanted to be like small and easy, and it's portable, so that sort of rules out stereo. To make a stereo camera, it has to be about as big as a human head. you can't wear that on your head, or you can't, fit it in your pocket. It's not going to work. So if you're doing stereo the right way, which is what Google Jump is doing, it's computational stereo and is calculating all the depth properly. This is, it's quite a significant amount of post-production. You can't really do it at home. If you're going to do stereo the other way, where you have discrete stereo pairs, it can work. It has been made to work. It is a tremendous amount of work. People in the industry generally feel that it's not worth the trouble. And it comes down to the fact that a lot of people don't really know the difference yet, because this is all new and everyone's seeing this for the first time. And they put the glasses on and they're going to be blown away. And the most important thing is to shoot something that people want to watch. If you do that, it doesn't really matter too much yet whether it's stereo or mono. People generally aren't going to worry about that. So things that we don't know yet. We don't know how to make narratives. We know how to make normal narratives. We don't know how to make something that requires this medium. Just like the first films were like stage plays on film. They weren't real films. So we're still a little bit at that stage. We're making traditional movies that happen to be 360. And we're still sort of building all the platforms and communities around this. So, we don't know, what is the Instagram of 360, for example? Like, this whole idea of, what it can be is still very nebulous, and we just don't know that yet. So around what people are asking us for, we sell cameras, and we talk to a lot of people every day who want to use cameras for something. So live is a very, very interesting thing that a lot of people want to do. It's generally, I think people aren't aware of the complexities involved. It is very, very difficult to do it properly. It is extremely complex in the back end to make it reliable with a large audience. So while a lot of people want to do it, it's still, I think, a couple of years away from being solved. People want it live for sporting events, ceremonies, concerts, car races, things like that. And we're getting a lot of demand from news, journalism, and documentary. A lot of news organizations want to deploy cameras, VR cameras, to their global pool of journalists, which personally I think is tremendous, and it's a beautiful way to use VR to bring things closer to people. A lot of the sort of paid work, the lucrative work, is around corporate marketing campaigns, and I think that's where a lot of the money is now. So these are some of the actual industry things we're seeing today. What I would like people to do is to just use this tool to capture their own story in a way that can bring it to people. I think the medium of VR video, of 360 video, has a tremendous possibility to bring things closer to people and to bring more empathy into the world in a way that is not as possible with normal film. And that's my pitch. And right now, if you could, thank you. If we can have some Q&A.
Really amazing camera. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you to my colleagues for
well
making it possible.
And just my question is the recording device. Just what's the plan for recording, and how small? Does it have to be connected to a laptop?
No. So right now it's connected to a laptop because the implementation of the SD cards is not finished. I didn't make that clear. It can record onto the internal storage as well. It can record either uncompressed raw footage or compressed H.264 footage at 100 megabits.
And how long can it record for?
The battery life is around 60 minutes. After that, you can plug in an external battery.
Nice. Well done.
Anyone else?
Oh. Okay, audio.
It has 4 microphones. This will output 4 audio tracks. We are not doing ambisonic audio, but it would be possible in a viewer to process the 4 audio tracks so that a different one is playing in each direction.
And low light, is that any good in low light?
Low light, it's a fairly standard behavior in low light that's comparable to other cameras.